Good morning, everyone. So yesterday, Kayleigh Mcenany was releasing a statement in which she was going over several instances in which the Democrats made specific efforts to try to undermine the security of the 2020 election. Fox News decided that this was incorrect information. It was unsubstantiated. It was false. So Fox News cut away from the statement, wouldn't allow you to see the remainder of what she had said. So right now, I'm going to first show you her statement, and then I'm going to go through each claim one by one, every single claim that she made, and I'm going to fact check them, and I'm going to share my screen with you so you can see the sources that I'm using. And for anyone on the left that is watching, I'm not going to use any, quote, right-wing sources. So you're going to get to see one by one me fact check those sources with my screen share, and you can see every single thing that I am using as I read through the source material. So here's the clip.
There is only one party in America that opposes voter ID. One party in America that opposes verifying signatures, citizenship, residency, eligibility. There is only one party in America trying to keep observers out of the count room. And that party, my friends, is the Democrat Party. You don't take these positions because you want an honest election. You don't oppose an audit of the vote because you want an accurate count. You don't oppose our efforts at sunlight and transparency because you have nothing to hide. You take these positions because you are welcoming fraud and you are welcoming illegal voting. Our position is clear. We want to protect the franchise of the American people. We want an honest, accurate, lawful count. We want maximum sunlight. We want maximum transparency. We want every legal vote to be counted, and we want every illegal vote to be...
I just think we have to be very clear. She's charging, the other side is welcoming fraud and welcoming illegal voting. Unless she has more details to back that up, I can't in good countenance continue showing you this. I want to make sure that maybe they do have something to back that up, but that's an explosive charge to make, that the other side is effectively rigging and cheating. If she does bring proof of that, of course, we'll take you back. So far, she has started saying right at the outset, welcoming fraud, welcoming illegal voting. Not so fast.
All right, we're back. So the first set of claims that Kayleigh Mcenany made is right here. She said that there is only one party that opposes voter identification, signature verification, citizenship, residency, and eligibility. So let's take a look at this, and let's start at the very top with voter identification. And you could see this is what I'm looking at right here. This is the HEROES Act, which is a bill that the Democrats try to pass through on May 12th, 2020. So we're going to look at the very first thing with voter identification. Did the Democrats, in fact, try to strip states of requiring voter identification? Well, let's take a look. So we're going to do Control-Find to search through this document, prohibiting ID, and look at this right here. I highlighted it for you all in the HEROES Act, prohibiting identification requirement as condition of obtaining a ballot. A state may not require an individual to provide any form of identification as a condition of obtaining an absentee ballot. So there you have it right there. The Democrats' attempt to not require states to request or require identification from people that are trying to vote. And let's look at the second claim right here. So the second claim that she was making is that Democrats were opposing signature verification. So let's take a look at this right here. Due process requirements for states requiring signature verification. In general, a state may not impose a signature verification requirement as a condition of accepting and counting an absentee ballot submitted by any individual with respect to an election for federal office. So there you have it right there. The Democrats opposed voter identification, opposed signature verification, and when you take a look at the other claims that she made, citizenship, residency, and eligibility, well, without voter identification, how do you know that a person is a citizen? How do you know that the person is a resident? How do you know that they're eligible? How do you know that they are who they say they are? Anyone can claim to be anyone else if you don't require identification. If you don't require at least a signature that you have to compare to the signature on record. And then this goes on to explain that a person can literally verify their ID through a sworn statement. In other words, it's the honor system. The only thing you have to do to prove you are who you say you are is simply that. Just say that you are who you say you are. You have a sworn statement saying, yes, I am John Smith, or I am whoever I say I am, and that is enough. And I'm going to show you that right here. I'm going to scroll down. And we'll show you the last part right here. Permitting use of sworn written statement to meet identification requirements for voting. How ridiculous is that, to have an election based off the honor system? How do you know I'm telling the truth? Because I'm telling you I'm telling the truth. And that's what the Democrats want. That's enough for them. They don't actually want to require any government identification. They don't want to require voter signature verification. So now going on to her last statement, that the Democrats were opposing Republicans being able to observe the counting of the ballots in Pennsylvania. So just to give you a little bit of a background, the Republicans and the Trump campaign made a claim that they were not allowed. In Philadelphia, poll watchers were not allowing them to be able to see the counting of the ballots. So they filed a lawsuit, and they won that lawsuit. So the judge stated that, yes, you need to let Republican poll watchers be able to see the counting of the ballots. They should be able to verify that these ballots are legitimate, that they're valid. And what did the Democrats do? They opposed the ruling by the judge that stated that Republicans should be able to witness and observe the counting of the ballots. And I'm going to show you that right here. So right here, this is from the Post-Millennial, breaking: Pennsylvania Dems appealing court decision on ballot count monitoring. Ask yourself a question. If you know that you won the election fair and square, that the votes being tallied are valid or legitimate, that they have correct signatures and addresses, and that the people whose names are on those ballots are eligible to vote, and they are exactly who they say they are, why would you in any way oppose the Republicans' right to observe the counting of the ballots? Why would you do that? Wouldn't you want to prove to everyone beyond reasonable doubt that you fair and square won the election? Why would you oppose a court order after it was already imposed? The court order in which the judge said that Democrats need to allow Republican poll watchers to be able to witness and observe the counting of the ballots. You have to understand this. The detection method in order to detect fraud was to be able to witness and observe the counting of the ballots. If Republicans can see the ballots, they can see the envelopes being opened, they can make sure that there is names on the envelopes, that there is signatures where there need to be signatures. They could verify that at least procedurally these things were followed. And Democrats said no. So why would they do that? And the argument that the Trump campaign is going to make, that they're going to bring before a court, is that if you don't allow the procedural things to be followed, if you don't allow Republicans to be able to watch and observe the validity of the votes, to be able to watch the count of the votes, that those votes are invalid. Those votes are invalid because you did not follow the law. You did not follow the written law as it was stated that Republicans should be allowed to observe the counting of the ballots. And since you were not allowing, since you were counting votes in secrecy, since we couldn't see you tally up the votes, how can we verify that they're legitimate? You stripped us of our rights to be able to detect, to be able to observe if there was any fraud that would be occurring, at least on a surface level. And therefore, we cannot count these votes as valid. That is the argument that Republicans are going to make. And we will see if it holds up in court. Ultimately, most likely the Supreme Court will cast a ruling on this, and that will decide the outcome of this election. But in summary, just to recap everything, you saw Fox News cut away. They said that these claims are false, said that they're unsubstantiated, said that, oh, well, if we do find evidence that any of this occurred, we'll bring this back to you. And you could see right here for yourself as I fact-checked every single claim that she made. And what was it? It was fact-checked true. That's my video. Thanks for watching. Please leave your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe, and I will see you all next time.